What's good, y'all? Welcome back. Come, have a seat, okay? We have some very serious matters to discuss. The main one being why I don't care about my health. Because the act that I'm about to engage in right now is certainly not good for my health. I'm about to do a 24-hour readathon. This is my first time doing one of these. And you know, I could be like a normal person and split this up between 2 days, do 12 hours and 12 hours. But what's the fun in that, babe? What's the fun in that? I'm gonna do it all at once, all in one go. See how far I can take my suffering. It is currently 10:38 p.m. If I started it in the middle of the day, that would be even worse because I'd have to stay up half of the day all throughout the night and then another half day. Now you may be thinking, Eden, it doesn't make a difference. It's all 24 hours, but it's the mindset, you know? That's what matters. So I thought the best way to approach the situation would be to start kind of late one night, pull an all-nighter, right? And then use the power of the daylight all day tomorrow to keep me going. And then when it comes to be 11 o'clock tomorrow when I'm done, I can sleep through the rest of the night. Do you get what I'm saying? And then I probably won't get up for another 2 days. But at least that'll somewhat put me on a regular sleep schedule. I don't know. Here are some of the books I'm picking from. Now, I'm not strict, and you better not be either. If I'm in a different mood by the time I finish the first book or the second book or however many I get through, I may pivot. The one book I do know I want to get through is The Dragon Republic. Now, I'm not starting and finishing this book. I'm already about 30% into it. That would be insane. Imagine me picking like a 600-page book for a 24-hour readathon. That would surely be interesting because it would just be one book the whole damn 24 hours. But I am reading that on my Kindle, so that should be easier to stay awake with. Then I have Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. I feel like romance books are the best way to go for a situation like this, particularly something that sounds as messy as this does, but also as lovely as this does because second chance romance. Stop playing in my face, please. I'm excited. And then finally, to put me in the Christmas mood, we have The Christmas Tree Farm by Lori Gilmore. She also wrote Pumpkin Spice Cafe Latte. I know the title of that book, but my favorite thing is to mess up the title. I don't know why. I'm taking this very seriously. If I don't dunk my head in a bucket of ice water, I'm gonna get ice cubes and I'm gonna rub them all over my face. I'm just trying to keep it real. We have no time to lose. Let's get this timer going. Why am I scared though? Okay, it's the moment of truth. Ready, set, go. Oh, that was anticlimactic. Wait. Okay, there you go. Yeah, here we go. Because I'm on the second book of the series, I'm not going to give you guys a summary of the second book. Rather, I'm just going to tell you guys how the Poppy War series starts out and just give you a general synopsis. So it starts with this girl named Fang Runin, and she lives in the countryside, essentially, is the best way I could describe it. But she really wants to run away because she's about to be married off, and she does not want that because who does? She's an orphan, and the people that take care of her are abusive. She has many reasons why she wants to get the hell out of where she's at. So her one-way ticket out of her situation is to get into this academy, aka the most prestigious academy in the entire country. And the ball kind of starts rolling there. I don't want to give away too much. I mean, this is a very dark series, so if that's not your vibe, don't pick it up. One thing that's always going to piss me off about R.F. Kuang is the fact that she wrote the Poppy War series when she was like 21, 22 years old. I was barely able to write my senior thesis. How did she come up with this stuff? I'm so glad I started with this because there's no way in hell I can get tired reading this book. Her descriptive language is untouched. Like, it's definitely in my top 5 when it comes to authors. It's just I'm looking at the book like this, like, damn girl, that's gory. But you're good at your job though. It's currently 1:50 a.m. I'm almost at the 50% mark. I think the reason this series is so refreshing to me is because the FMC is actually not somebody that you easily like. You have to really fight to understand where she's coming from. And sometimes in fantasy books, I struggle with authors trying to create the perfect hero. I don't want the perfect hero. I want a complex main character. I want somebody who, upon first glance, I actually dislike. But the more and more I learn about them, I start to feel a connection to them. That's what makes it interesting to me. I think in the next hour, I'm gonna have to do a location change because I'm trying to stay alive. Okay, something crazy just happened, and I'm so grateful for the fact that something crazy just happened. Like, I'm overwhelmed. I'm sick to my stomach right now. Something crazy just happened. I was getting tired. My eyes were starting to droop. How pathetic. It's only been 4 hours. Get it together. I was debating. I was like, maybe it's snack time. I think it is snack time, honestly. I was also considering taking a cold shower, but I'm gonna save that for when desperate times have arrived. There is such a difference between the first book and the second book in terms of how she writes fight sequences and battle scenes, mainly because the second book is way more battle heavy than the first one. But how the hell is she improving so much between the first book and the second book? I don't know how far apart they were in terms of release. She must have been in class or something. RF Kwong, girl, who are you? I'm feeling a very strange temptation right now to look up something on Pinterest so I can see some fan art, but I'm scared. Two main characters are starting to give me some ideas. Heading in a direction I wasn't expecting them to. Because she keeps dropping these one-liners and I'm like, you're foreshadowing something, like you're alluding to something here. What's happening, Rebecca? Okay, I'm looking right now because I can't resist. I'm gonna like squint. I'm gonna like look like this. Oh. Period. Hold up, they don't love you like I love you. Slow down, they don't love you like I love you. Damn, I wish I could draw like this. So this is apparently what he looks like. I just needed to confirm something and that has been confirmed. Moving on. So this is awkward, but I did in fact fall asleep on accident. And then after it was an accident, I made the active choice to continue sleeping because I knew that tomorrow I would be absolutely miserable. Actually, it's not even about being miserable. My eyes wouldn't have been able to stay open. I don't understand how some people can like force themselves to stay awake. I need some kind of rest and I can't drink caffeine. So that makes this very difficult. Anyway, we're back on track now. Let's see if I can finish this book before 10:30 a.m. I feel like that's a decent goal. We are a little bit past halfway through this 24-hour readathon, okay? Still not done with the Dragon Republic. I'm thinking it's because this is a high fantasy novel, and those are not easy to get through. This means I'll probably only be able to get through 2 books by the end, which is fine. That's like 12 hours per book. If I was reading nonstop, a 300 to 400 page book would take me 8 hours to read, 6 to 8 hours to read. And I had 400 pages left of this book when I started it. So a little bit slow, but not too bad. We also have to take into consideration the 2-hour not accidental nap that I took. I'm almost debating switching books right now because I feel like reading a high fantasy book when I'm this tired is not a good idea. Let me also open my blinds. Like, maybe sitting in the dark is not helping either. I was considering before I let go, but why are the margins of this book literally 0.5 inches? And why is the font so small? I don't know if it looks as small as it appears to my eye on camera. Let me see if it's on Kindle Unlimited. It is on Kindle Unlimited. Okay, this may work. I'm gonna read the first line of each book and then decide after I do that. Okay, this is very Lifetime, very Hallmark. I think I'm gonna go with the Christmas Tree Farm to match the Christmassy vibes I have going on the TV right now. Wait, why am I kind of, yeah. I'm like almost halfway through. I just read a line that made me LOL. The funny thing about books like this where you kind of know they're cheesy and you're accepting that they're cheesy, sometimes they just take it too far. Basically, the FMC is obsessed with the MMC's dogs, so whenever they run into each other, she gives the dogs a bunch of attention, and he's talking about how he's getting jealous about the dogs. Like, he's jealous of his dogs because of the attention that she gives them and doesn't really give him. And so she's about to walk away after a conversation that they're having. He goes, all three dogs immediately start whining as soon as she turned and strode off toward Annie's bakery. Bennett had to swallow his own whine at seeing her go, but he had an invite to see her tomorrow. Bye. Why is he saying he's basically barking? That's so weird. I will say I thought I was gonna be bored while reading this because I know that it's definitely just a cozy read. There's not a lot of crazy stuff happening. I'm not bored. I'm thoroughly entertained. But the thing with the dogs really got me, like, King, stand up. Stop. The sun is gonna start going down in like an hour, so I need to be very strategic about the next few hours. I think what gave me my revival of energy was the fact that the sun was so bright today. It's been so gloomy the entire week. We'll see how I feel once it's not light outside. I realized I never gave you guys a synopsis. Basically, picture this. A girl named Kira North moves to a new town, a tiny little town called Dream Harbor, and she wants to own a Christmas tree farm, right? Then the fixer-upper down the street, Bennett Ellis, decides he wants to make it his full-time job to come over and help her, but she wants to be so hyper-independent she doesn't want his help. That's it. That's literally it. Until, you know, the ball gets rolling and then they fall in love. You get the vibe. This makes me wish that it snowed more around Christmas time, but instead we have climate change. What a lovely reminder. They're having a snowball fight right now, bro. Snow nowhere to be seen. Snow once a year, if that, if you're lucky. It was 80 degrees in November this year. It'll be 30 degrees one day, 75 the next. Like, God. You know how you know this is fiction? It's snowing in December. One thing I'm not really vibing with right now, though, is his nickname for her is Peaches because she's from Georgia. No. Just no. I'm very picky when it comes to the nicknames thing. First of all, this man's name is Bennett. So his nickname is Ben. Her name is Kira. Her sister calls her Kiki. She said, you can't call me Kiki. He said, I'm gonna call you Peaches. This is comedy. I'm having the time of my life. Now this book got me feeling like a misogynist. Because I like the MMC. I don't think I like the FMC. I don't strongly dislike her the way I did in the beginning, but some of the things she says and some of the problems she claims to have really have me sitting here feeling like the most judgmental person in the world. Because I'm like, girl, that don't sound like a problem to me, really, though. Sorry. It's 7:32 p.m. and I just finished the Christmas tree farm. I do have some thoughts about this. Expectations going into it, not that high. One, because it had 3 point some stars on Goodreads, so I'm not gonna be flipping backwards thinking this is gonna be the greatest work of literature I'm ever gonna read. Let's start with the things I liked about it. So what I liked about it was how cozy the vibes were. Very cozy vibes. It's the holiday season after all. Normally, if you know one thing about me, I'm not the biggest fan of dual POV. I read a lot of books with dual POV because that's what the romance genre wants to do nowadays, so who am I to stop it? Now, don't get me wrong. Some books that I read that are dual POV, they're really good, okay? However, usually I don't gravitate towards that. This actually did a pretty decent job with dual POV. I wasn't mad when I was in the mind of a man, but it also is written in third person, so that makes a difference. For example, 7 Days in June by Tia Williams, this book is technically in dual POV, but because it's third person, it doesn't feel like that. I don't know if that sounds stupid. This is an amazing book, and it's the exception for me. So much so to the point where I made a video talking about 7 Days in June, and I was like, this is not dual POV. And I was like, wait, 7 Days in June is 100% that. It just didn't compute that way to me because it's not like I. Same thing with this. And honestly, it was a good length. It was like 350 pages. Maybe it could have been a little bit shorter, but not many complaints on that front. Honestly, I think my favorite thing about this book is the cover. It's just so cute. In terms of some things that I didn't like, repetition of the same words or phrases. For example, anytime they were about to get it on, somebody had a wicked smile on their face. That's not gonna do it for me. I'm sorry. That was in the book 77,000 times, and I was like, we need to cut it out. Another thing I didn't love is the issues that the FMC was going through didn't feel authentic to me. They almost felt invented for the sake of the storyline. It just didn't feel believable. I didn't sympathize with her that much, and maybe that's on me. It didn't feel well fleshed out, and so it all just kind of felt shallow. I felt like the book was trying to be deep in ways that I wouldn't be mad at it for not being deep. It's just a holiday Christmas moment. It was just trying to be deep in ways that it wasn't meeting those levels of deepness. I also really don't like when books end with a smut scene. And technically this one didn't, because it technically ends with an epilogue, and the epilogue didn't end with a smut scene. But the actual book itself before the epilogue ends with a smut scene, and I just don't like that in books at all. Overall, I'm gonna give this book 3 stars. Let me go type it into Goodreads. I'm gonna give a little bit of a description. Started on December 12th, ended on December 12th. This is a cozy holiday read that I am not mad at all. Had a good time with her. I have nothing else to say. 3 stars. Period. Okay, now it's time to go back to the Dragon Republic. I have, let's see how much time I have left. 3 hours and 7 minutes. And I am 65% into it. Let's see if I can wrap it up. I'll be satisfied with myself if I can finish 2 books. 12 hours and 12 hours will leave me deeply satisfied. R.F. Kuang, you write such good books, but you are a villain. You are a downright villain. This is not right. I need to put my headphones on and play some music. Have completed the 24-hour readathon. However, we did not complete the book. I am on page 601. I have 54 minutes left in the book. I don't even know how that's possible. I think because I started getting tired, I started reading more slowly. This is a thick book. If you look at the actual physical copy, the words are so small. I could stop right now, literally throw everything out of my hands and call it quits and say goodnight. But I barely have any of the book left, so I might as well finish. I'm gonna finish it. I feel like somebody is forcing me to sit here and talk about this when the last thing I want to do is sit here and talk about this. I am genuinely distraught. I gave this 4.75 stars. This book was so good. Oh my god. It was so good, but it was so bad for my mental health. Oh my god. I'm so scared of this. I'm so scared of this. I thought at the end of the first book, I thought the end of the, let me take you through my emotional journey, okay? I'm reading this. First half, I'm like, okay, period. We move on and I'm like, oh, this is getting very, oh, okay. And then the ending had me like, immediately no. I had to start the second one immediately after finishing the first one. Like, that was the position that I was in. This book took me on an emotional journey that makes the first book look like child's play. Now, don't get me wrong. The ending of this book packed a punch, and I can't decide which one's ending hurt more. This book was chaotic from the beginning to the very end. This had a very academic setting for a very large portion of it. It was very dark academia type of vibes. This was just war. The most painful, sickening depiction of war. I don't think I can start this immediately. This concludes the 24-hour readathon. It is midnight. I have slept for 2 hours in the past 36 hours. I need to go to bed. Anyway, y'all, thanks for watching Vlogmas days 11 and 12. The last days of Vlogmas. We ended her out with a bang. I'm gonna go sleep for the next 37 years. Thanks for watching this video. I had a great time. I hope you did as well, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.